I'm going to be styling Kiba's wig today. This is actually a real hair wig because it was at a wig store that was near me, so I decided to use it. And the things that I'll be using today is a wig brush, scissors, your thinning shears, rat tail comb, alligator clips to help keep upper layers out of the way, and I use Got2b glue, hairspray, and spiking gel, and then I have Got2b Playful for piecing and stuff.
Okay, so basically since this took forever and I'm just doing a fast forward, and it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing because my lighting sucked. I'm just gonna talk you through it. So I'm just brush through the wig and make sure that there's no knots or anything that you can catch. And then I am taking the top layers off and just leaving a single layer on the bottom to work with first. And you just pin that up with the alligator pins, and it starts to make him look like he has pigtails. And then you just kind of measure on your own head how far down you think you'll need for the back. And I clipped it off to fully show. I didn't really clip it, now did I? Anyway, so I cut it off, and then I just start trimming straight up so that the ends look a little bit more natural and they kind of feather a little bit. And you just continue to do that until you kind of feel like it's good enough. But really you're gonna later on be doing more work on it anyway. And this is where you start trimming top layers to kind of give a layered look, and you do that all throughout that entire layer that you have down. And always remember to continue to look at your reference pictures. It does help a lot. And trim, trim, and trim. You're going to be trimming most of the time. Or at least I trimmed most of the time. Since I had to change my idea halfway through, not even halfway through, when I first started, of what I was actually going to do for styling. And if you have a giant chunk that you need to take off, just snip straight and then correct with the vertical cuts. And basically just trimming some more, and you brush out all of the little hairs that don't fall out automatically, just so you're not having them in there constantly. And I don't even know what I'm saying right now. It's late, guys, can't you tell? So more trimming, and you just brush out all of the loose hairs so they're just out of the way. You'll have to clean out your brush a lot, and it's a good idea to clean up your area. You can put a plastic bag down to actually catch all of the hair that comes off, but I had a trash can there instead. And then you just start taking down layers, little bits at a time, preferably, so that you can layer correctly. And obviously I decided to just brush through this at this time. Oh, and you want to take out a section if you're going to do the bangs a certain way. I just took out a huge section in the front and clipped it so it was out of the way, and make sure it's even on both sides, otherwise it kind of looks weird. And clip it so it doesn't get mixed in with everything else. You also want to make sure that your wig is pinned correctly to your wig head, because otherwise it kind of just sloshes around and it gets really obnoxious. And now I'm just trying to find the next layer. I believe this is where I decided to change my tactic a little bit to the completely natural spikes, because the wig was not thick enough to hide if I tried to do fully styled spikes. So I had to change my idea. That's why I'm kind of taking it down, putting it back up, taking it down, putting it back up. But you need if you want to do styled spikes, have a really thick wig. This one, it looks thick, but it really isn't. And once again, I'm readjusting the pins. I would suggest pinning like 5 times in the back of the wig just to make sure it's staying where it's supposed to be. And then just try to take a little bit at a time of a layer, and don't be afraid to use lots of pins. That's why you want to get a bunch of them. And then you just start cutting, and you want to kind of just haphazardly, just to give a variation in spikes, and make sure that you're not doing all the same length as the underlayers. Otherwise it kind of starts looking really ridiculous. So you want to try to go up a little bit each layer, just so it layers a lot better. And you just continue this process for a very long time. It took me, I think, an hour and a half to fully style his wig, so put off some time or do it in increments, preferably. Don't do it really late at night either. That ends up really bad because you're like half asleep when styling. And I'm just still trimming away, trying to make the spikes very natural spikes by just layering of hair. As you can see, it's just that. I also like to fluff it just to see how the spikes are fully laying, and then I brush it down again because it's easier to see the layers that way. And then just keep taking layer by layer. I'm trimming, lots and lots of trimming. At this point I'm actually lifting up layers to take out thickness in certain parts and to make them lay a little bit better. And continue cleaning up your area just so you don't have to do it later. If you do it in increments while you're going, it just makes cleanup so much better and easier, and then you don't have hair sticking to you everywhere when you start actually using the products, hair products. So even more trimming. You'll get tired of trimming, trust me. You'll get tired of trimming it by the time you're done with this wig. And you just keep going at it until you're satisfied with spikes and whatnot. And just layer by layer. I'm sorry this part is like the boringest. I've tried to downsize how much of the spiking I put in the video, but it can't be helped. That's basically what I was doing, was just trimming down. I'm sorry the lighting is so poor in this too. It's the first time I've filmed a video in my new place, and I have no idea how the lights are on the camera, so I will try better next time. And at this point, after you clean up everything, you just continue to fluff with your hands without product, just to see kind of where the spikes will lay. This way you can just trim if you have, for some reason, one of the top layers are really long compared to the bottom layer. You don't want that. It kind of makes it lopsided. And once you get your spikes how you want it, put some cream, as the Got to Be Playful is what I'm using. You put it on the back of your hand and you just piece out the spikes. And you just continue to do that and basically just fluff it and fluff it and fluff it and fluff it. Yeah, just fluff and flip it upside down because it'll help, and use hairspray if you need to. And then now I'm actually going to work on the bangs. So I did the three, I made it where it's a triangle in the front. So I just took a section and I cut diagonal on both sides, and then to make a full triangle, and I trimmed it, and then I take the Got to Be glued spiking gel and you rub it on your fingers and you twist the end so it actually comes to a point. Mine actually ended up kind of looking like a 3-point, but it still looks pretty good. And then I use the remainder of the spiking gel to help control the side so that I can cut it, and you cut at a diagonal so it layers really nicely. And it is not as like a harsh cut that way, and it just kind of conforms to the cheekbone in that area, so it makes it look a little bit more natural. And you just match it on the other side, and then you hairspray it into place. Basically just take hairspray, flip the thing over, and just hairspray it as much as possible is basically what I did. Okay? So here's my end results, guys, and I'll panorama around the entire thing. It's very natural spikes, very wild and crazy. It could use a little bit more trimming, but this is where I ended for the night. It was really late, and I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. So I hope you guys found this enjoyable and helpful, and I'll catch you guys on the other side. Bye-bye!